everybody, and welcome back to the North American LCS. We're happy to be joined by Skara, who's been having a pretty good day on the Rift right now. Skara, congrats on the win.
Thank you. I feel really good about it.
So, coming into this game, right, we heard in sort of the pre-game interviews that you've had a pretty bad scrim record against EG, but you guys have been on fire recently. If I heard this properly, that EG been doing well in scrims for the last couple of months or something, and then you guys were like playing really well in the LCS though.
I think Kitty was just trolled those interviews
okay.
like really badly. We haven't played EG in a while though, so we don't know how they perform in scrims. But when we did play them, it was like during relegation, and we did pretty well.
Oh, okay.
So something that we have heard a lot about though is your new analyst that you guys have. It seems like he's helping out a lot, and definitely the whole strategy of having QtPie visualize everything on the map as a turret and just killing all turrets all the time seems to be working out. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, Kitty really doesn't like his role, so we tried to pinpoint the role down to one factor, and we're like, look, you're a turret killer. Like, you're a demolition expert. Like, you're pretty much Ziggs if he was just physical damage with no spells. So we had him visualize every unit on the map, every creep, every hero, every tower as a turret. Well, the tower turret is redundant. So we feel like that's increased his play, his level of play, because all he thinks about right now is just killing turrets. If there's 10 creeps on the map, that's 10 turrets for him to kill. So he's got a really easy answer now.
So how do you weigh in the dragon versus taking turrets? Because you guys went for 2 turrets top, gave up 1 bottom turret and 1 dragon. Would you take that every day?
We'd probably take that every time. Like, even if Dragon gave more gold than it does now, we would still think the additional map pressure is just huge. Like, it lets us be able to make plays, and that's really what we wanted to do.
All right, so then actually let's get into some of the plays you guys made throughout the game. Mid lane, about 20 minutes in, you guys took mid inhibitor and took a big team fight off of that. We have a replay of that. If you want to walk us through what happened in a pretty big game-changing fight here.
There's nothing here. We're just sieging. We know we're ahead right now by a considerable amount. We knew they had to engage, and Leona was coming from the back. As soon as they stacked up on me here, I knew the game was over because we got a full minefield and the 3-man Jinx rocket. As soon as that hit, like, the problem with their comp is they have to stack up on top of us, and as long as they're not ahead, that's fine, or as long as they're not split pushing us, that's fine. But as soon as they have to stack up, they eat all of our AoE and they just explode into pieces.
So I actually want to press you with something there. You just said that as long as they're not split pushing, as long as they have to stack up, how did you guys draw EG then into stacking up against you guys?
The early turrets really helped because they helped us establish a lot of map pressure, and we were able to get really good deep wards. So we were able to see like all their potential gank routes, and because of that, we were able to just choose which objective we wanted, like which dragon, which turret, and all of that, and be able to just take very clean fights. Like, if we had ended the game with 0 kills, it would have been fine. But we knew they eventually had to force in on us, and as long as we played it out well, we'd be able to win the game.
Was that a factor in your Ziggs build? Because you didn't go with a defensive item, and you knew like if they were all going to collapse on you, then you guys would get AoE damage off? Or was that like a lane build that you were
I think the Ziggs build was just like kind of greedy. It didn't really matter what I built as long as it wasn't a Zanya. It's like I can't go full defensive. In that specific team comp, they just need me doing a lot of damage. So as long as I'm able to produce a lot of damage, like I was considering going 2 rings death cap just to get that early mid-game spike. But I decided for a Seraph Shroud just because I'm a little bit greedier. And
okay.
I didn't really know if it was going to work out, but it seemed to work out okay.
Well, let's talk about your teammates. Obviously, you're very proud of them. You guys came back, and now you're on a streak. How has Cruiser been fitting in with the team, you know, not only in the games, but also in the home life, because that's important to Dignitas?
Cruiser's doing really well. Like, he's actually a really funny guy, and he performs really, really well. Like, we first came in, we had maybe our doubts. Like, he performed the best out of all of our applicants, but we still weren't sure if that was, like, good enough. But he's just been able to up his level, and I feel like having our regimented practice and regimented like drills have helped him become a better player. And we weren't sure if that was going to happen, but we just lucked out there, and so he's becoming like a really strong top lane force.
Well, it's good to hear that Cruz is doing well. Talk to me then about the Dignitas family overall. You guys started out 0-2, had to keep your hopes up. Now you're on a 4-game winning streak. What's this like for Dig?
It's just good. Like, we realized that we used to try to hype each other up at the start of every game. Like, we used to be like, hell yeah, guys, we're going to win the game. It's going to be easy. We're going to smash all of the lanes. And we realized we performed terribly when we tried that. Like, we couldn't really control ourselves. We'd go in for these crazy-ass plays, and then we'd just suicide. Like, we'd all die, or some stupid stuff would happen. So we go into every game very calm, very collected. We want to be I think this is how we stated it. If like being fully hyped up is at a 10, we want to be at around a 5. So we just want to go in, go over our game plan, and play very calm and collected. And if we just do that, it's when we perform the best.
When it seems by the end of the game, you guys are at 10s. The clip of Kiwi Kid yelling because they won.
We thought the game was over, and we're like, why is the Nexus still up? And Cruiser's like, help me, please, guys. I'm like, okay, my bad.
Well, it worked out for you guys. Scar, thank you very much for your time. Congrats on